What's going on, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls coming up right around the corner. On today's show, devastating news for Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets. They lose him likely for the entire upcoming season with an ACL. Would that mean that the Rockets are going to explore trade possibilities to replace his production on their team that finished second in the West last season? Could the Bulls be involved? Plus, expectations and potential for Dalen and Julian Phillips, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to break it down and set our goals for them next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dale. Bam! BAWL Sports. Bam. Will the GOAT Gottlieb. Perfectly coiffed. Will_Gottlieb. Queen of the controls, one and only Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hello.
Hello. Have you given any thought to that whole T-Swift thing?
Do you want me to talk about her for an hour? I could. I totally could.
You know what? This is our last week of the offseason, Katie. Now's the time.
Do you guys know that we're like 9 days away from her album coming out?
Woo!
October 3rd. Big day.
The stories of a showgirl, what's it called?
The Life.
The life of a showgirl.
Yep.
She was a showgirl?
So excited.
Was she recently engaged or something?
Yeah.
This is rage bait.
October 3rd.
This is rage
Big day.
bait.
Big day.
Big day. Huge.
Huge.
Almost as huge as Bulls Media Day, which is this coming Monday. We're less than a week away, and then training camp, and then preseason. Bam. Speaking of which, shout out our CHGO Blackhawks crew. Preseason hockey starts tonight.
Hockey.
That's exciting.
Let's do that.
They're gonna do hockey. We got CHGO Blackhawks postgame happening tonight.
That's
awesome. We're right behind them. So, lots to get to on today's show. First thing we wanted to start with was the very unfortunate news that broke yesterday afternoon. Shams Charania reporting for ESPN that Fred VanVleet has suffered a torn ACL, could potentially be out for the whole season. This sets back the Houston Rockets' plans to come out of the West. So I think it was in our Discord, somebody proposed a trade involving Coby White. If the Rockets say, hey, we need to make up for the loss of Fred VanVleet's production, Coby White, as well as I would assume, have been involved in a lot of trade rumors this offseason. Mm-hmm. We've talked about whether or not the Bulls can afford to pay both of them on new contracts. They're both entering the expiring year of their current deals. So, what do you think, Dave? Do you think, A, that the Rockets are going to be aggressive in trying to replace VanVleet's production? And if so, that the Bulls could be a team that they might call specifically about Coby? Do you see that as a realistic hypothetical scenario?
It all depends on how Basketball Joey starts the season for them.
And for those of you at home, that's Reed Shepherd.
Reed Shepherd is Basketball Joey. It depends on that. It depends a lot on that. That young man hasn't had the opportunity to get out there and showcase and do his thing yet. They spent the number 3 draft pick on him, and they've kept him on ice and kind of, I don't want to say untradeable, but they haven't really been having serious talks about him, because they honestly don't know what they have. We don't know. So he's going to get an opportunity to get out there and showcase. If he, keeps the boat steady and is fine, I don't think they'll do anything. If he kind of starts falling, because remember, this is a team that is trying to get to a finals. That is a ticking clock. They're not here for development time or none of that other stuff. They got Kevin Durant for a reason. So they're trying to go to their finals. So it's going to be early on when they make that kind of decision. He has to be getting it together and showcasing that he can be a point guard for their basketball team. If not, then I think it's feasible that they weigh their options and see who's out there and see who's available. Oh, and look, the Chicago Bulls have a plethora of point guards and guards that can fit into the system that they're running down there in Houston. So I think it's a possibility. but it just really all depends on how Reed Sheppard is going to look for them. And if they feel like it's something that they can wait on and continue to let him play, or if they feel like, no, not going to work, we need to get somebody else in here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it would be pretty hasty for them to make this kind of a decision like right now, right in, the week before media day. Just because, they're going to be like, the West is no joke, obviously. They're going to have to like compete at a high level throughout the course of the season in order to get a top 4 seed, in order to, put themselves in a position to make those, dreams a reality of, competing for a championship.
Yeah.
And so doing it right now, I think would be a tough sell for the front office who, like you're saying, Dave, doesn't know what they have yet in Reed Sheppard, but is really high on him. Obviously, number 3 overall pick, did not get a chance to really play last year. Mm-hmm. Can he step into that role? Can you give the ball more to Amen Thompson and run more offense through him? Can you get a lot of that playmaking responsibility from Alperen Şengün? And can you play just a much bigger lineup with Dorian Finney-Smith or Tari Eason, or maybe even 2 bigs? Steven Adams was fantastic in that 2 big lineup for them in the playoffs. Is that something they can do? So I think they're built pretty well to be able to withstand that. They have Clint Capella as like their 4th center, or I guess 3rd center. So they won't need to like rush into any of these decisions. And I think that's a huge benefit. Obviously VanVleet is like a key piece for them, and I do think that they're going to have to replace him if they want to win. But there's also some complications just with like their cap sheet. They're $1.2 million away from the first apron, which I believe they cannot exceed because of the Kevin Durant trade. And so that's a challenge. But that's why somebody like Kobe could be interesting to them, right? Is that he's only making 12.8 this year. You can pretty easily construct a deal where, maybe you're even getting off of some money, sending the Bulls back a little bit more money in the way of contracts to give yourself more flexibility. And they've got big decisions to make on their books long-term with guys like Tari Eason. They just paid Jabari Smith, but Amen Thompson's coming up. Like, they're going to have to get off of some of those guys too, and maybe that could be the opportunity. So I think there's something there. I'm not sure Kobe is like the perfect fit for them though, and I'm curious what you guys think about this. But like when I think of Ime Udoka, I think of defense. I think of guys that are going to be just absolute dogs, and I think Kobe's obviously a real competitor.
Yes.
And I think he really works on that end, but I just wonder if they would prefer to go for more of like a 3-and-D type of point guard, and then elevate Amen Thompson and Şengün into more primary ball handling responsibilities. But at the same point, like they had Jalen Green in there for years, and they do need some of that shooting and scoring back, especially to open up the floor for guys like Amen and Şengün. And if you're playing 2 big lineups, that's a real challenge. So I could see it. I think Kobe's contract is going to make him compelling there. I don't know what the cost would be, but and I can't think of like a better fit off the top of my head for Houston.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think Kobe would be a good fit for them, though, strictly because of the dog aspect that you're talking about. What he lacks for on the defensive end, he truly makes up for on the offensive end. And there is no substitute for somebody that can create their own shot. And Kobe White can absolutely do that for them. And to have him and Kevin Durant, oh my God, on the same team, both of them creating their own shots, like Kobe's like shots might get way easier and the defense will not be as high, on him, which might make him even more of a threat there at OKC. And again, no, I'm sorry, with Houston. And again, though, but having on the defensive side, having Kevin Durant there to protect you is going to be big. That's a huge deal for them. I even like the fact that they have Steven Adams there. You better believe he's going to ride for Kobe. Those picks, that screens that he'll be setting, that Kobe will come, oh my God, like those are buckets. So yeah, you're right. Defensively, like it could be a liability, but I think offensively, like, oh my goodness, it could really be something.
The part of this hypothetical that I find most interesting and, of course, important from a Bulls fan's lens is hypothetically the Rockets call the Bulls. They say, hey, AK,
hello,
what do you want for Kobe White? The answer to that question is what I find most intriguing.
Okay.
Because we've seen how AK operates with trades.
No picks.
No picks? So, and I think the person in our Discord proposed Kobe White and Julian Phillips for Reed Sheppard and Tari Eason. First of all,
that was the one I proposed. Theirs was
you proposed that?
Theirs was different. It was Kobe, Patrick Williams, and Trey Jones for VanVleet, Eason, and Reed Sheppard from
Interesting.
Imar Guy.
Okay.
Wait, Kobe, Patrick, and Trey Jones.
For VanVleet, Eason, and Shepard. So getting off of VanVleet, and then obviously getting Eason and Shepard, the Bulls sending back, Patrick's contract, and then 2 point guards in Trey Jones and Kobe. We can go over what I thought of that, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think that as much as AK loves getting young players with experience in his trades, more so than future draft picks, I don't see him prying Reed Shepard and Tari Eason away from the Rockets in any hypothetical trade involving Kobe White. Do you?
I mean, I think probably not, but like when teams are desperate, they can stumble into bad decisions. And I think also like the contract part of this can't be stressed enough. Like Tari is up for an extension. Are they going to go into the second apron for this team? Like, I don't think they know the answer to that yet. But like Kobe's going to be a free agent too. They're going to have to pay him. Reed Shepard, like great prospect, but he's making like $10.2 million. So like,
shout out.
If as a 3rd overall pick who's gotten basically no NBA experience so far, he's played in like 50 games. Like, are they really going to try to go to the playoffs with starting a point guard like that?
That's a good point.
It's possible. But like at the end of the day, with all due respect to him, like Kobe doesn't have playoff experience either. He's played in 1 playoff series and a couple of play-in games. Like, are they going to want to go for somebody who's more of a veteran, who's been there, who can help steady the ship? Because they've got young ball handlers like Amen Thompson who don't have as much of that experience. So they want to counteract that. So I don't know the answer to that, but I just don't think it's like this super seamless fit, even though Kobe's skill set I do think would help them for sure.
Yeah, I don't think the fit is seamless. I think it's a fit, but I don't think it's seamless. I definitely agree with that. I don't know about a veteran guard. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I have to look and see. I haven't looked and seen who's out there. All I keep hearing, is Russell Westbrook, for that, and I don't think that's a fit.
But they can't sign. They can't sign anybody right now. They're too close to the apron.
Okay, well, that's not even a
so
reality.
It would have to be a trade, and they're limited in who they can trade because a lot of these guys are still restricted. They just signed a bunch of them. Jabari Smith is poison pilled right now. They just signed all these guys, so it's like I think they only have like 5 or 6 guys that are actually tradable. And I don't know that they're going to be willing to trade Tari or Reed. Obviously, that would be a huge get for the Bulls and really fit what they're interested in, right? Like young players who haven't really had a chance to prove themselves, haven't really had real opportunity yet, but still, young on their first contract where you have some time to evaluate them. Tari, obviously coming up this year, but like that's the kind of deal that tracks with like Arturas's history, right? Is like
fair.
Josh Giddey, last year was rookie scale deal, going after him. Okoro, young player, got kind of boxed out of the lineup, going for him.
Yep.
On a cheaper second contract. Like those are the kind of deals that I think Arturas will go after. I just don't know that Houston is going to be willing to put some of their like premium assets on the table for anything less than a premium return.
Yeah. And keep in mind also, most likely, you're talking about one player. AK almost exclusively one player for one player trades. Straight up swaps.
Yeah.
I mean, I know several players came back to the Bulls side in the Zach LaVine trade.
Correct.
That was a special case. Okay. AK's usually trying to work right in that wheelhouse of I'll give you this player for that player. So
what if it was
I don't see Kobe White getting traded to the Rockets. I don't.
So what if it was just Reed for Kobe? Like
man. Oh man. Come on, go.
I think that one, it doesn't I don't think it's legal because Kobe makes too much money, so maybe they'd have to like
Legal
send someone back.
Right.
And like what the Bulls could offer is some cap relief. But like, would that be enough upside for you guys? And obviously you get off of the issue of having to pay Kobe right now. But look, I mean, the Rockets are now in that position. Would they want to do that?
Right.
And they just lost a point guard. Do they want to trade their one remaining point guard? Like, or do they want to move off of, one of their wings, of which they have, basically too many to play, to get a guard and bring somebody back in to get 2 point guards in the building. So
but it's like you're saying, like they have too many wings and we have too many guards. So even if that trade does kind of happen, like if it's just straight up Kobe for Reed Shepard, I'm still going to have to contend with Trey Jones minutes. I'm still going to have to contend with Super minutes.
Yeah.
Still going to have to contend with Josh Giddey getting his minutes.
Now you have a premium, like, blue chip young prospect to go along with Modest, Noah, and
but
Giddey.
do they
like,
look
that's
at, they just signed a man to, Trey Jones to his 3-year deal. You know what I mean? Io, of course,
I just don't think
1 year and be out of here.
You can't be making decisions based on what whether you signed a backup point guard.
We're talking about the Bulls here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hear you. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm just going off of what I've seen them kind of value and kind of do. And they have a value for a guy like Trey Jones. Sorry, we got to
It'll be interesting. But, like, obviously, if you make a move to get Kevin Durant in the offseason and you have a young team that just finished second in the West, now's the time.
Now's the time.
If you feel like you can make a trade mid-season to improve your team after dealing with an injury loss to a player as important as VanVleet, you're going to do it. Just a matter of whether or not the Bulls are one of the teams that they call if they decide to beef up their roster. All right, we got to knock out some ads. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk about Bulls all-defensive team honorees of the past and who, if anybody on this roster right now, will be the next one in the future. Stick around. Hit the like. Ads.
Come to the Bulls basketball, Joey. For real. You got a can of happiness.
Woo!
And I need you to pick it up. And I need you to punch yourself right in the thirst, Matt Peck.
I've been punched in the thirst.
RC Cola. Consider him punched in the thirst. The real, true taste of Chicago. That's RC Cola, y'all. And that's what you can get when you have this deliciousness in your face. It's the original cola that does not fold under pressure. RC Cola is the OG cola in the world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no woozies. And for the love of everything holy, no wazies at all. They have not changed their stripes since 1905 because they didn't need to. That same bold, crisp flavor that it's always been. It's like a punch right in the dang on thirst. Stock up for all your end-of-summer parties, back-to-school celebrations, or just watching the game, y'all. Do yourself a favor. Grab some of that RC Cola from your favorite local store. It is the move for whatever you're doing because it's RC Cola, the true taste of Chicago.
Today's show also brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Ugly truth, winter will be here before you know it.
No!
Is your home's heating up to the challenge? Maybe you need to get yourself and your furnace scheduled for a Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Thinking about a whole home generator? They've got you covered there too. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons. Furnaces starting at $39 a month. Furnace AC combos just $57 a month. So call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. That's Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years. Visit them at fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. Because Dave, for all the right reasons.
Call 866 Four Seasons. Yeah, sure.
We're back. CHGO Bulls rolling along on Tuesday. Pack Big Dave, Goat, Katie on the controls. Hit that like button if you didn't do it during that ad break. Next on the agenda, it's time to take the temp, Bulls Nation. Taking the temp, our segment brought to you by our trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. So, Dave, you were doing a little Bulls history homework the other day. You said you found some list on NBA.com or something. What were you perusing?
Yes, there was a list on NBA.com where they listed the Chicago Bulls players that have made first team all defense.
Short list?
Kind of a short list there that they got there right there for the Chicago Bulls.
We did a little trivia. I was able to get all of them.
Yes, you were. You knocked it out.
There's pretty easy guesses.
Yeah. We have
when you told me how many there were.
Yes.
It's like, okay, the candidates list is considerably, shrunk.
I was like, fairly simple, man. You got this. But we can see the list here. Thank you, Katie.
So you got MJ, several time selection to first team. Scotty, also.
Ridiculous.
Bunch of them first team all defense. Sloan, another name that hangs in the rafters, up there with Jordan and Pippen. Norm Van Leer, whose name and number should hang in the rafters.
Yes.
Also a multi-time selection. My BFF, Joakim Noah, in 13 and 14, first team all defense. Dennis Rodman in the 72-10 season got first team all defense. And most recently, stealing cookies, Mr. Caruso.
Yeah.
The champ.
Yeah.
In 2023.
Shout out to him, man.
It's a short list.
It's a very short list, man. And shout out to Caruso for being the first since 1996. I'm sorry, since Joakim Noah, excuse me.
Joakim in 14.
To be the guy to get up there and do that. So when I saw this, I had several thoughts. The first thought was, man, Jordan didn't make an all-defensive team unless he was first team all-defense. That is absolutely insane. And two, just how spoiled, you know what I'm saying, myself and other Bulls fans have been to sit and watch that dynasty happen. Shout out to them right here on this show.
Hey-o.
But it just was like sadness kind of sat in after that because I was like, dang, nobody? Like, that's
Nobody.
it? Like, it's no consistency, you know what I'm saying, with that. Also, looking at that list, it let me know that winning comes along with these things. Mm-hmm. So, especially when you're first team all defense. Now, when Caruso
some people say defense wins championships.
It's what I've been told. You know, the jury's still out. We'll check in on that.
Yeah.
But Caruso, when we saw him, was 2023. They had just come off of the season where they went to the playoffs and went 46-36. So I'm sure he came in like, yo, we about to do it again. 40-42.
Hey.
Not gonna go. But still, there was winning behind it, is what I'm saying. Winning was there. So if the Bulls are gonna step into that winning, what this is showing me is you're gonna have to step up into that defense as well. That's gonna have to be a thing. So again, AK is correct when he's talking about establishing a defensive identity for this team. And I'm curious to see how they are going to do that. We saw them bring in Isaac Okoro. We had Dalen Smith here, Flex, yesterday talking about the dogs that they have, you know what I'm saying, on defense and just how important it is to them to be good defensively. So with all that said, it made me start thinking, with all those guys like that on this team, who do you guys feel would be the first Chicago Bulls player on this roster that might have the potential to be first team all defense? Not
Modest
second,
Buzelis.
first.
Modest Buzelis.
We've got Katie.
Katie's quick answer is modest.
Mm-hmm.
That's my contribution for today.
I don't hate that answer.
I do not hate it at all.
First team all defense
First team.
is tricky.
Yes.
You're talking about being named one of the 5 best defensive players in the NBA that season.
Correct, not bad.
There's also now the new criteria of, what is it, 65 games minimum played
65
to qualify to win the award. Okay, so I'm sure that there are some optimists out there in Bulls Nation who are going to roll their eyes at this. My realistic answer right now to your question, who on this Bulls roster is most likely to be the next one in Bulls history to make a first team all defense? My answer is none of them.
I knew it. Come on, man.
None of them. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to just be like pessimist pack over here. I'm being a realist.
T-shirt coming. Pessimist pack.
Book it. Tell Eric. I'm being real. That is my honest assessment of the talent on this roster right now. Who's most likely to make first team all defense?
First team all defense.
I would say maybe,
and even the potential.
A few of them have an outside shot.
The key word is potential.
Of squeaking into second team defense if they have an out of nowhere killer year.
Okay.
And gain a lot of league wide notoriety for their defensive prowess. And again, what else does it take to garner some of that league wide notoriety? Games that a bunch of people are watching. When's the next time the Bulls are going to have a bunch of those games on their slate? Not this season.
No.
Next season?
Maybe.
I'm not banking on it. So that's my answer. And it's not a cynical answer. It's just an honest one.
Okay.
My hope is that Katie is right.
That is, yes. I feel that.
But that's all it is. It's a hope.
Yeah, I think like if you're asking me, name someone on the team.
Potential.
Who can, I think, Modest is probably the right answer just because of the rim protection. Like at the end of the day, block shots really do have sway there. But I agree with Matt. Like there's just nobody that's close, frankly. Mm-hmm. And like, I think you've got some talented defenders on this team, but like for whatever reason, all NBA or all defense is the only one of those awards where there's only 2 teams. They should introduce a third one. But top 10 defensive players in the world, when you have Chet, Wemby, Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr. out there, Amen Thompson, Dyson Daniels. I mean, like, there's just no room. And, like, that's even putting aside whether somebody has that kind of potential or not. But I agree with Matt. Like, it's not a criticism, but that's like what Arturus is talking about. They need guys to turn into that. I think Ayo is a very solid defender. I think Okoro will be a very solid defender for this Bulls team. But we talked about it before. Like, I think last time I looked at it, Okoro was like 83rd percentile in defensive EPM. That's like solid. That's good, right? That's nothing to sneeze at. Caruso's 100th percentile. He's the number 1 in that. So like you're just not in the same stratosphere. And I think the gap between good and great is huge. And I think the gap between great and elite is even bigger. So it's just a really hard thing to get close to. But if you had to ask me about like which player has that kind of potential, I think if Modest puts on some more strength, if he improves his mobility and like just, perimeter defense, being able to stay in front of guys, and then also continues to block shots at the rate that he has or better, that's a really dangerous defensive player that you can start to build a good defensive infrastructure around. I don't want to like sit here and say that there's no hope on this team on that end. I mean, they were 7th after All-Star break in defense. So like, I think there are some good players there, but they don't, in the same way that they don't have an offensive superstar, they don't have a defensive superstar.
Ooh, facts.
And you need to be a superstar on the defensive end in order to make an all-defensive team.
We got some people chiming in the chat with their takes. Lars, parentheses, Kobe White 2025 Finals MVP. A little late on that one. The 2025 Finals already happened. Modest and Noah, both first team in the 28-29 season. Joel and Deanna saying they agree with me and Goat and our realist take on it. Trev Smith saying, unfortunately, Matt, you are correct. Travis saying no one on the Bulls is even close, and then naming some of the likely winners: Dyson Daniels, Men Thompson, Mobley, Draymond, Lou Dort. Also, Beef Dip saying it was supposed to be P. Will, but he couldn't even defend his starting role on the team. Ouch. And accurate. And,
I see Fish bringing up Carter Bryant, which makes me think of Noah. Noah's another guy who's got, like, legit tools on that end, right? Like the length, the athleticism,
without a doubt,
the mobility. I think he's obviously, he hasn't played an NBA game yet. Like, he's got a long way to go in terms of reading the game, knowing where to be. It's such like and I think we talked about this yesterday too, like there's a difference between guys who are really toolsy on that end and like can defend at a high level, and then guys that are just like 3 steps ahead of the play, Draymond, Caruso types, or the kind of defender where it's like Rudy Gobert and you build your entire defense around funneling guys into him.
Okay.
There's avenues to get there, but I think Noah and Modest, frankly, are just like very far away from that at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so Dave, you threw Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips' names into this question.
Yeah.
And also because we are going to talk about them specifically on the back end of the show and set some goals for them.
Correct.
But, do you see this as a hypothetical chance that either of these guys defend into that caliber of defensive player?
There's always a chance, Matt Peck. There's always a chance. I think the only part that you said I disagree with is there's no room, because when it's a 65-game thing, then it's always going to be room, because Caruso should have been on
the defensive team.
Caruso should have been on there before, but he didn't play 65 games. Wembanyama should have won Defensive Player of the Year, but he didn't play 65 games. So there's always going to be some room and some movement where guys can come up, come down, whatever. Even people seeing them, Matt, and getting their eyes on them. Dyson Daniels was on the Hawks of 40 and 42. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like, they were on the screen all the time, but the numbers are what they are, and people are going to see that. Caruso, not saying you're wrong, but it's a thing.
You know what I mean? And Caruso,
Caruso winning too, you know what I mean? But even though they're coming off the playoffs, but still, it's a thing like that. I think the potential for it is why I worded it that way, but I think Katie is correct. When I was thinking about the potential, it's Modest, and for me, it was strictly because when I'm thinking of a guy that tall and that big, they look at more raw numbers. And raw numbers, I'm speaking of steals and I'm speaking of blocks. Right. And Modest Uzelis gets, I plan on him getting a ton of blocks out here, and his face being already out there in the NBA stratosphere. I just saw him having another TikTok when he was talking to another 17-year-old, your favorites, Matt, young man, about how he made his first $1 million. And so for me, Modest has the best potential to do it. I think Essengay is also, a hope, but we haven't seen him. We don't know what he is, but obviously that's a hope. You can throw a Koro's name, in there as far as that, because we've seen him actually prove it as far as his defense on, perimeter guys and, how he shuts down guys and things like that. Goat, when we talked about him, was going over the numbers that he has that are pretty damn good. See, Red Fred did the same thing, which were pretty damn good. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. Like, if you're looking at it like realistically and that, you're like, well, I haven't seen anybody even be in the realm of taking that leap to jump over and say, dude, first team? Yeah. Like, I think if I worded it as second team, it would be a little more easy to digest. But I didn't want it to be easy to digest because we're talking first team, and that means that when you're first team, you're winning. And I'm putting that stuff on the Bulls, especially after I'm continuing to hear Io and Dalen and all these guys talk playoffs and all these kind of things. Well, these are the kind of things that I'm going to put on you. And also, finally, just hearing Dalen talk about the lofty goals that he has made me think of this as well, because this is a lofty goal. Saying I could be first team all defense, not saying it isn't achievable, but it is a lofty goal and an aspiration that possibly could be achieved.
I don't hate it. We got to knock out a couple more ads. When we come back on the other side, we're going to dive into our prove-its for both Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. What do we want to see from them this season? Throw what you want to see from Dalen and Julian in the chat, as well as hitting the like button while you listen to these ads.
Hit the like button.
Hit it!
Guys, she's coming.
Katie's mad.
Oh, man.
Today's show brought to you by Eye on the Ball. Hey, coaches! See, Red Fred, I'm talking to you. Listen up. If you're looking for more athletes to train, Eye on the Ball is where you need to be. It's simple. You create your profile, update your background check, and boom, you're in. And they're offering a new promo for new coaches who sign up, free for 6 months, then just $50 a month after that, or $500 for the whole year. Athletes of all ages and all sports can find you directly. And here's the best part. Eye on the Ball doesn't mess with your schedule, your payments, or your business. You are in full control. They just connect you with athletes who are already looking for a coach like you. So if you are ready to grow your coaching business and reach more athletes, go check it out right now at eyeontheball.net. That's IEYE ontheball.net. Don't wait. The athletes are already out there looking for you. Tweet.
Whoa.
It's coach's whistle.
I got it. That was pretty good, man. I know where you got that. You drove to the store, but when you drove there, you drove in something from Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. They're slashing prices on new cars and giving you big savings all month long. Come in today to shop the model year in sales event and drive home with employee pricing on every new Chevy model. That's every new Chevy model. Oh, my goodness. You can get $3,000 to $11,000 off MSRP, or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for yourself. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you're going to get a great deal. Plus, Ray's Price Promise, it lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you're going to pay. So don't miss out on that model year in sales event going on all month for every employee pricing and every new Chevy model. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1960.
You do you, I do me.
There it is.
We roll on, CHGO Bulls. Hit the like button for crying out loud. If you didn't do it during that ad break,
She'll get you.
Katie needs the likes, guys.
She'll get you.
She will send Troll Joey after you if you don't hit that like button. Okay, next on deck, prove it. We're getting to some of the role guys. We've done a lot of them for our presumptive starters already. And because we chatted with Dalen Terry yesterday, we felt, hey, why not dive into what we want to see from him on today's episode? So we're going to talk Dalen now, and then we'll also get to Julian Phillips. Dalen Terry, prove it. I thought of going in a lot of different directions before coming to my ultimate decision. We talked to him and applauded him on yesterday's show about getting his three-point percentage up. Yeah. Definitely looked like a much more confident shooter when he had those open opportunities last season. And Dave, you're talking about how good of a defensive player can he be. He obviously, for a team that struggled in creating turnovers last season, those that they did, Dalen was usually involved if he was on the floor.
That's true.
And then on top of that, Dalen is gifted getting out in transition and can finish in a variety of ways and distribute in those ways in transition. So there's a lot of areas where I want to see Dalen take what he does well and improve it, but I simply landed on this.
Okay.
I want Dalen, kind of like Dave, I think in a previous year, your prove it for Kobe was like B, MF, and Kobe White.
Yes, it was.
In a similar light, this is my prove it for Dalen.
Oh,
I want him to get 5 or more Goon of the Night victories this season.
I like this.
While he is doing everything he can, hopefully, to raise what he looks like in the box score every night. Statistically, his efficiency as a shooter, as a defensive stud, hopefully. I want to see all of that, but mostly I want to see Dalen continuing to earn minutes and prove that he is a part of this team's future. Speaking of another guy entering the final year of his contract.
It's true.
I want you handing that award to Dalen on 5 or more Bulls victory post games this season, because it'll mean that Dalen is still Dalen.
Ooh.
And that's what I like most about Dalen. Is the nights when we sit here and talk about, like, yo, whether it's like a big momentum swinging play or something he did to hype up a teammate, as we talked to him about yesterday, that's the reason that I like Dalen.
It's true.
More so than any specific element of his game. So I want him to be Dalen.
Sounds like a
like
privet
this.
for Dave and not Dalen.
I want to chime in and say he only had 2 last season. I'm looking at our spreadsheet. Josh Giddey led the team with 4. So
we hate him. What do you
nobody
Check
got
the
5
receipts.
last season.
What do you mean?
So yeah, I figured 5 would be a lofty goal. But I think he can do it. I'm not
love
trying
this.
to put any sort of like hand on the scale. Dave is the be all end all decider of who wins that award.
Yes.
I'm just saying I want him to win it 5 more times, because that'll mean that Dalen is being Dalen out there.
That is excellent. And it's funny because my mind was kind of there, and I was gonna go kind of with something like that, with going out. But I was speaking to my brother, shout out to him, and I was telling him, yeah, we had Dalen Terry on the show, Flex. And I was just telling him, what Dalen is expecting, for the season. And he was like, yeah, that's cool, man. He was like, but dude, I just want to see Dalen go out there and do his thing. And I said, that's it. That's what I want from Dalen Terry. That is my prove it from Dalen Terry. My prove it for Dalen Terry is bow.
Oh!
That's what I want from Dalen Terry.
Bow.
Bow. Simply bow. That's it. On the offensive side or defensive side, I want him to bow. That's what I need from him, man. I want him 35% from 3? Great. Bow. Playing great on the defensive end. That's awesome. Great. Bow. More of it. I want more time on the floor. I want more goon of the nights. I want more 3-point games from Dalen Terry. I want all of that because, as you mentioned, Matt, it is the final year of that contract, man. I want all of it. I want more of that awesomeness that he gives the bench, more of that energy, more of that leadership, all of that stuff. So if I want it all and I want to combine, that just simply means I want him to bow. That's what I need from my main man, Dalen Terry. As a member of the Dalen Terry fan club, I approve this message. Bow.
Not only do you approve it, but you delivered it. It's your message. I love it. I think both you guys kind of either said this or hinted at it. Like, that's just what makes Dalen who he is, and that's what makes him a good change of pace. He's like a good part of this team. And I think for me, in order to see more of him, to be more a part of this team, and I'm seeing it in a lot of these comments, like get more minutes, play a certain amount of games, play a certain amount of minutes per game. People in the comments along the same lines that I'm thinking, but for me, it's how do you get there? Because I agree that, getting the minutes is obviously like the end result, but like what needs to go into your game in order for you to earn those minutes? And for me, it's the shooting. And this is going to be a common theme for me. Obviously, it has already been with a lot of these guys, and it will continue to be. But prove it for me is 36% on 6 threes per 36. Ooh. I had 38% on 6 threes per 36 for both Io and Okoro. I'm bringing it down a little bit for Dalen just because 38 is a big number, and he hasn't really touched that before. But last year, career high in three-point percentage, 35.6. Career high in, I believe it was 3-point attempts. 1.4 per game. But when you look at the per 36 numbers, it actually goes down every single year. So 4.5 3-point attempts per 36 in his rookie year, 3.9 in his second year, and 3.8 last year. So I need to see that number much higher. And if you think about it in terms of like him playing 18 minutes per game, that's just getting 3 threes up.
Right.
If it's, 9 minutes per game, it's getting 1.5 threes up. Like he needs to be getting those shots up and he needs to be connecting on them. One, because of the floor spacing and just like the way that can open up the game for his teammates, driving lanes for Josh Giddey. I mean, Giddey's going to have the ball in his hands. He needs space to operate. He needs shooters to be ready to go on the perimeter in order to make him work. So it's for Giddey as much as it is for him. If he wants to earn a contract, the way to do it in the NBA is becoming a 3-and-D player. And, he has a lot of other skills. We talked about this yesterday. Big guard, good vision, good decision maker, can put the ball on the floor. It's hard to do that when you can't break guys down off the dribble in isolation. He's not going to have those opportunities. So how do you do that? You do it in closeouts. How do you get the ability to attack a closeout? You got to draw one by being a good enough shooter that the defense is concerned about you. And getting volume and consistency and accuracy there is going to open up his game and unlock the rest of his skills. And it all starts with the shooting for me. So I think that can really benefit him. I think it can benefit the team. And I think it can help him carve out a role for himself this year. And ultimately, that leads to a contract for him. So I think for me, it all stems from shooting. I really believe that is sort of if you're a role player in the NBA, you got to be good at defense. You got to be able to execute on the small things. But at the end of the day, if you can't shoot, it's just hard to play in today's NBA.
Yeah, very true. I would have went with the 38. Still went there, only strictly because of him coming off of shooting 25%, from three, and then ballooning that up, or 26, just ballooning that up to 35%. Let you know how seriously he was taking that. And hearing him speak yesterday about how seriously he's taking his offseason and what he wants to be, I'm about putting that stuff on guys when they say that. You know what I mean? We've had this discussion before. I'm about that life. You give it, don't put it on your plate if you ain't gonna eat it. And them dudes are putting stuff on their plate, and Dalen is all about putting those things on his plate, man, and trying to achieve it, and trying to get there. I like that ideology. I love the 6 attempts also, man, because that is letting you know that you have a real confidence in your shot, whether if it's going in or it's not. But you have a real confidence in what you're doing out there on the basketball floor, and you're not worried about, oh man, is this going to miss or should I make this extra pass? No, boom, you're taking that shot and you living with the results.
And if you're making it at 36%, obviously you want to space the floor, but it almost doesn't matter because that means that you're making open shots when they're making you pick, they're picking their poison and you're making them pay for it. That's what it should be. The other considerations that I had were steals. Last year, 1.6 steals per 36 minutes. He's got to be a guy that disrupts. He's got to be a guy that generates turnovers, gets out in transition. That's another big piece of who he is as a player, and it's something that the Bulls really need. They do not have a lot of guys that can really pressure the ball, get strips, get steals, and run in transition. And then the other thing for him is fouling. He just fouls a lot because he's aggressive. 4.2 fouls per 36 last year. And what was it per game? 1.6 fouls in 13 minutes per game. So he's got to clean that up.
That's a lot.
And that combination of getting more steals while also fouling less, that's how he's going to carve out a role in this league and just get more opportunity to do some of the other stuff that he has done in his college career in high school, but also that I think he wants to be able to show that he can still do at the NBA level.
Those are the type of players that garner attention for all defensive team votes, is the ones who can get that level of steals and disruption on the defensive end without fouls, which is tricky. That definitely would be a challenge for Dalen Terry, because especially if Travis McKnight, one of our viewers, saying his goal is 15 to 20 minutes for Dalen, become a real rotation player. If you want to see Dalen earn more minutes this season, can he earn those minutes without getting in foul trouble?
That's a great point.
There is that big question. Katie, what do you want to see from Dalen?
Why is she smiling already?
that is a Katie smirk if I've ever seen one.
Seriously.
No, I was thinking about something that Matt and I were talking about earlier, and I can't say it on the air, but Matt knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, no, mine, you guys know I've been keeping them simple. Adapt to what is needed. Dalen, I think, has skills that are, occasionally on display, but we've only seen him do a few things, and I think I want to see him provide offense when it's needed, provide defense when it's needed, rather than just providing what he can. I want to see him adapt to the players that are on the floor with him, I guess is what I'm saying, rather than just using the skills that his athleticism provides to him. Really adapt his skill set to who is playing around him. And, based on the players that are in the lineup with him. So, hopefully that makes his skills come out even more, but I think just adapt to who is on that bench with him.
And I think that's true for not only Dalen, but a lot of the young guys on this squad. We talk about Io changing his role all the time because he's doing what is needed of him. If he needs to play more minutes, if he needs to start, if he needs to come off the bench, and same thing with Kobe White. I think it was Nine-Hearted One was in the chat earlier talking about how Dalen played a decent amount of point when he was in college.
He did,
and,
yeah.
We've seen certain glimpses of that. There was Summer League Dalen playing some point.
High school 40-point triple-double.
Yeah, and so, I don't know if that is something that you can expect under the list of Billy's going to ask blank player to do blank tonight, and it's Dalen play more point. I don't see that realistically.
Yeah.
But what can he do to help the team and thus earn himself a more firmly established role?
Yeah.
901 also said that they're worried that Billy's going to bury Dalen Terry on the bench once again. And again, we've been talking about it. Bench minutes are going to be hard to come by with this young squad. They're going out and trying to win every night, and there's a lot of mouths to feed when it comes to minutes outside of that presumptive starting five. So what can you do to make yourself stand out amongst your teammates who you're going to be competing against?
Yeah.
And I think yesterday when we were talking to him, he kind of made note of that, right? That it was you got to do the role that they need from you, not the role that you want to do necessarily. And those things are
That's
not
why he called Alex Caruso.
necessarily the same. Exactly. That's why
Asked him for advice.
Flex.
But I'm just saying, that's exactly the mentality he should have.
Yeah.
Going into a season where it is going to be hard to earn minutes. So I think it's good to hear him thinking about it the right way as well.
Totally. EcoBeam, meanwhile, said that he wants Dalen to be a 6'7" Joakim Noah. Okay. That's a tall ask. No pun intended.
Literally. Yeah.
Come on now. So you're saying you want him to be a defensive player of the year, but in a 6'7" frame. Okay.
Okay.
It's a tall ask.
Yeah.
That is a stiff prove it if I've ever seen one.
Putting a lot on the plate there.
That's right. Mark Anderson simply saying, defend. Some prove it's are simpler. I like it. All right. Moving now to Dalen's pal, Julian Phillips.
Hey, Julian.
Who he told us yesterday, one of the low-key funniest guys on the team.
That's what he said.
Until the media comes around.
That's
and
right.
then he gets real quiet.
Yes.
Which I kind of love. Julian Phillips, my sweet special boy. Still haven't given up on him.
DJJJ.
DJJJ, that's right. Derek Jr. What do we want to see from Julian this season? I did go back to what I have done with some other players with these prove-its, an offensive stat and a defensive stat.
Okay.
Whereas with Dalen, I just up the goonage. So, right. Katie, if you will, we can reveal mine for Julian. I want 35 or better percentage behind the arc. Mm-hmm. That would be a career high for Julian Phillips because he shot 32.5% last season. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, 32.7. Mm-hmm. His rookie year, 31.6. And we're not talking big attempts. 1 attempt per game his rookie year, just shy of 2 attempts per game his second season. In 79 games played, so solid sample size there in year 2. He did get more threes up, but efficiency just 32.7%. Get that to 35. Just like Go was talking about with Dalen a second ago. Prove that you can knock down a shot so that when the Bulls are trying to play fast, if the ball finds its way to your hands and you're open, catch and shoot. No hesitation. I think it's a reasonable ask for Julian to get up to 35% behind the arc, considering the gradual improvement he made from year 1 to year 2.
True.
And then talking about this team that needs to generate more turnovers and whether some of these guys can earn their stripes and earn their minutes, first and foremost by what they show Billy on the defensive side, I think Julian Phillips is in that category of young players. Defense gets you minutes, and then maybe you can knock down some shots. So I went combined stats, steals, and blocks, a.k.a. stocks. And again, going with per 36, like Goat has done with a lot of his stats, because we're not sure how many minutes that Julian will get this season. I want 2.2 combined blocks and steals from Julian Phillips per 36 minutes this season. By comparison, his rookie year, 1.4 assists and 0.8 steals and 0.8 blocks, so 1.6 combined stocks per 36. And that went up just a tick last year to 1.8 with 1.2 steals and 0.6 blocks per 36. So his blocks actually went down a little bit. So I'm asking for him to bump up the amount of times that he's generating takeaways or defending the rim, regardless of how many minutes he's getting. Just show yourself as an impact player on the floor and do it more frequently. Because I feel like we've said that about Julian in the past. We've said about Dalen in the past. Oftentimes when having a conversation about Patrick Williams, the simple question when we're doing a post game of, Did you feel this player make an impact in the game that we all just sat down and watched together?
Yeah.
Did you notice him on the floor? Yes or no? And sadly, with Pat, the answer oftentimes in those post-game shows was no. I did notice, hey, Julian Phillips made this really heads-up play from the weak side, on that defensive possession.
Yep.
And then that sparked, the Bulls' run. Same thing about Dalen Terry. Oh, you felt him in that game. You felt his presence in that game. Billy Donovan even talks about that when he's doing his post-game media availability. I felt blank player really made their impact noticed on this game. So just do more of that. Do more of those kinds of plays that make us notice you, because it'll probably make your coach notice you too and get you on the floor more.
That was bars right there. I don't disagree with any of this. I think you're dead on with that, and I think they're reasonable. We were once again, in the same kind of mind frame, except I turned it down just a skewsh.
Just a skewsh?
Just a skewsh.
Okay, you're only asking 34%.
Just a skewsh, yeah.
Come on.
So the 3-point percent, I went 34 because I looked at the 32, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe he can get that. But first thought, honestly, was 35. And then I thought, well, how much time is going to go on the floor? And as you were factoring into your PER, the per 36, I didn't know. So that's the reason I went with 34. I thought it was more attainable than that. Easily attainable. But just honestly, if it gets to 35, me and you are kind of still there. To be real.
It's right there. To me, 35 is always just the benchmark of is this a real 3-point shooter?
Correct. Right. Are you serious? Are you for real?
The defensive scouting reports that night have to take seriously.
Yeah. Are you for real?
Are you for real?
So the rebounds, though.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of wanted to get on with Julian Phillips.
Glass man.
So the Bulls, I believe, as a team, were either averaging 45.9 or 46.9 rebounds a game.
They were one of the best in the league in defensive rebounding percentage.
Yes, and that's strictly a lot on Vooch and a lot on Josh Giddey as well. So when those guys aren't there, though, who's grabbing boards? Somebody's got to get out there and do those kind of dirty plays. Somebody's got to go ahead and use that. And we talk about Julian Phillips and his athleticism, but that dude is also long and he's really strong at the same time. So factoring that in, looking at his rebounding, what he did in his rookie season, it was 0.9 in total rebounds. The very next season, when he got an opportunity to do his thing, 2.1 rebounds is what he went up to. So looking at that and that trajectory, I'm like, well, rebounds are usually effort. A lot of that is effort. I know time on the floor comes with it for sure, but I think effort comes with that as well. And I am not questioning the effort of Julian Phillips. That dude makes you, as Matt said, you'll feel him being on the floor. His best game I think he had was against the Wizards, where he had 23 points and 9 rebounds or something like that. And for me, it was the 9 rebounds that kind of stuck out more than anything. Because as you mentioned, what was the one thing we talked about with Patrick? As big as he is and as strong as he is, the rebounding was never really there.
Negative 1.2 rebounds per game.
Yeah, man.
That's his career average.
We never saw it like that for him. So Julian, I think, has an opportunity to not only fill it in with the 3-point shooting, because he'll be open on that baseline, and he shot pretty good from the baseline on the threes. He'll not only have those opportunities to get those high-flying plays like the alley-oops and things like that, but he'll have an opportunity to get out there and crash the boards. And we saw him do that more last season, but his version of crashing the boards was trying to get those tip dunks and putting them back in. It's still a rebound, ladies and gentlemen. It still counts as a rebound. So if he's able to get those going and, get that rebounding average up, I think he's got himself a steal going.
Julian had 67 offensive rebounds last season.
Awesome stuff, man.
Compared to his 102 on the defensive side.
And that's just another area where the Bulls are just not very good, and they don't really invest resources. A lot of time that's a trade-off, right? You're either getting back in transition or you're attacking the offensive glass.
Right.
And this is a team where you can't really afford to be giving up a bunch of transition when your defense isn't that great to begin with, right? You have to try to take that away. And so for Julian, I mean, they talk about having go guys and, from wherever you are on the court, there are certain guys that are supposed to crash, and Julian should be one of those. For me, I did the same thing I did for Dalen, because the shooting to me is the single most important thing for this team.
Oh, wow. Okay, come on, go.
The
Literally,
identical prove it.
The most important thing that this I mean, think about how much of a difference
34, 35, 36. Yes.
Think about how much of a difference it made for the team last year to play faster, get more shots up, people were making and taking more threes, and that just opened up the floor for everybody. But they lost their best shooter. Zach LaVine is no longer here. And so they need guys to step up and add more floor spacing. If they want to play, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys need to be able to come in and hit shots. The one thing I would want to change with this, though, I think for Julian, and Katie, maybe I'll ask you to do that afterwards if we put these out on social media, is like for him to just like slow the game down for himself a little bit. Because I think for Dalen, the way I was thinking about this was if he makes more shots, it will open up some of the other things in his game. And as I thought about it more for Julian, like hitting more shots will help him get more minutes. But I think like having the game slow down for him is really what's going to open up the game for him, even more so than the shooting. Like he's willing to shoot, last year per 36 minutes, Julian shot 4.9 threes. He's never been a high percentage guy, only 32.5 career, but like he's a lot closer in terms of the volume. But for me, it's just like you watch him sometimes and like he'll make this incredible athletic play attacking the offensive glass and getting a putback dunk or getting out in transition. And then sometimes you just see him and he's like looking around, not sure what to do. And it's not like a criticism of him. I just think like the game is moving really fast. And I hope for him this year that he can slow things down a little bit, understand his role a little bit better. I think that happened for Dalen last year in year 3, and that started to open some things up. And so I think for Julian, if that happens, it will allow him to start making more shots. He won't he'll get his feet set, do like kind of his homework a little bit early on the catch and shoots so that he can increase his percentage and volume. It'll give him more of the awareness to be able to know when to go for the offensive glass and when not to. It'll give him more of the awareness of when he needs to slide over and help defense versus get over a screen and stay attached to his man. And I just think like that's an experience thing. I mean, he's a second-round pick. He's played 2 years in the league, has not played a ton of minutes or a ton of games just based on his role with this team. And I think as the game slows down year 3, like this is the time where he can really start to put together some of more consistent moments, whether it's in a big role or not. But I think that will only really happen if the game slows down for him.
Our guy Joel in the chat saying, Julian's the kind of guy that knows his limits, knows his role well, but I want to see him take another step, be more aggressive, and see if he can get to the free throw line. So the free throw line thing is interesting because one other thought I had, and it popped back into my head when you were talking about the game slowing down for Julian, is obviously, yes, you want him and Dalen, everybody on this young squad, to be confident, to rise and fire if they get the ball behind the arc and they have a good, clean look. And, feet set, shot mechanics all in line, all of that. However, Julian in particular, if he finds the confidence of knowing the speed of the game to say, all right, this guy's going to close out on me. I just got, a pass at the wing or in the corner. If he builds a decent pump fake on a shot that they have to respect from the outside, I mean, my God, Julian Phillips needs one strong dribble towards the basket, and then it's game over. Highlight reel dunk city. Yeah, that's the level of athleticism that young man has. Yeah. So like, dude, you get a little pump fake in your game. If you're a legitimate 3-point threat, attack the basket, baby.
I remember doing this, and we were coming. I looked at that free throw percentage because I was very curious about it, and he was 68 in his first year and 78. In last season.
There you go.
So he definitely bumped that up, but he had more attempts at the line also. He was 0.5 in his attempts. He was getting to the line. He had a free throw a game. He definitely was doing that more as far as just playing in a controlled chaos kind of way. But I agree with you, man. It's got to be more of that because you're right. One dribble. He gets just one dude and up. He's gone. You know what I mean? Because he can jump over anybody, man. So it could be real exciting for a guy like Julian Phillips.
All right, Katie, put a button on it before the buzzer. What's your goal for Julian?
Again, simple one. Just make the big play. I think when you're fighting for minutes like Julian is, anytime that we hear your name in a good way is, good proof for Billy Donovan and the coaching staff that you belong on the floor. So make the big play. Make Stacey King yell your name. Like, let's do it. Make the big play. Be noticed.
I love it. Yes.
Coming to join you, Elizabeth.
Get Stacey hyped, Julian. Those are some good goals. I like them a lot. Yeah. All right, we are going to wrap it up for today, but there's still more action on deck, including CHGO Blackhawks post-game. After their preseason debut, they're playing the the old rival, the Detroit Red Wings.
Getting married?
Wings. So tune in to our guys Jay and Mario
Shout out
for
Big
that.
Bang Theory.
That's right. We also got CHGO Cubs
Detroit
post game
wedding
coming up around the corner tonight. Still plenty of action. So keep it right here, CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Also, become a member. We got bonus content for CHGO Sports YouTube channel members. Sign up today, MVP or Hall of Fame levels, including some extra stuff that we did with Dalen yesterday for members only. So check that out and sign up. Read Goat Stuff, allchgo.com. Follow him, Will_Gottlieb. Big Day Bow. BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. We in the controls is the one and only Katie Duffy. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with another fresh live episode, 4:30 Central. Have a great night. See you, Be good.
Booker Chew. What up, bro? Peace.
Bugga who?
Chew.
We all silly like the mayor.